We are live. So, welcome to Footy Fantasy, your podcast, the podcast that gives you all the best that you want in analysis, in banter, trolling, and of course, this is the edition where we say goodbye to Jurgen Klopp. It's not gone yet, but
He's still
expect a
there.
lot of it's still there. the
Damn, don't
long,
rush him
the
out.
long goodbye, the long goodbye. But welcome. Today we have Queen's Kausa with us. I hope she's.
I'm here with my
Yes,
tears.
I
Have a
know. I was
strong
going to.
whiskey, and we can start this conversation. I'm in so much pain. You guys don't understand.
I can imagine. Don't worry, we'll have enough time for us to share our mutual grief and and recover together. And also, we have Saliba's uncle. He's joining us for the first time. Thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
His first question was
Fantastic.
like, who are you people? Where's EJ?
Yeah, I know.
So a bit of housekeeping before we proceed. We have our social media handles there. We have on YouTube at Footy Fantasy, Twitter at Footy AD Fantasy for the Twitter handle, and on Instagram at Fantasy Footy. So just give us a shout, give us a comment, give us a like, subscribe, all of that jazz. And yeah, so we proceed to our first topic for today. We just get straight into it. Let's rip the band-aid, Linger. I'll ask you exactly, where were you when the news broke? Because for me, I was at work. I got a message from a very good friend, and I just saw, he just said, no, that's what he just wrote in the text. I just, no, I was like, what's no? So I had to ask him what, and then he said, Klopp is gone. I was like, what? So I couldn't concentrate at work. I think at work that day, I probably did only maybe 1 hour of work and 7 hours of checking social media and checking all the news. I didn't concentrate at work at all. So how did you take it? Where were you, Linger, when the news broke?
So it was maybe 5:45 in the morning in California, and I woke up and I had a ton of messages and notifications, and I kind of ignored them. And I was checking my email, and someone who randomly sends me emails about his theories about Liverpool sometimes sent me just so you know, I heard that Klopp's leaving, and I'm like, this guy's a psycho, whatever. And then I opened up, when I saw the number of messages I had in each of my Liverpool support groups, I was like, okay, either someone's died or worse, Klopp is leaving. So so I found out through, and then of course my brother who supports United was waiting for me to wake up so that I could find out, so that he could laugh at my pain. What a shock. My God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me,
so
the shock was more.
Muted himself. He's just like, I'm not gonna be part of this.
No, we'll bring Saliba's uncle in, but of course,
I am still having fun. That's why. So it's really fun listening and watching Liverpool fans complain, and I think it's testament to how good Klopp has been. That you listen to Manchester United fans, you listen to Arsenal fans, all your major
all
rivals.
celebrated.
We're all happy. Everyone's having fun because of his consistency. He's been a pain. He's been a big pain for us. I mean, look at us now. Have we won at Anfield in the league since it's been there?
Nope.
Right. So just think about that, right? Even last season when we had our best team under Mikel Arteta, we still didn't win. Even after going 2 goals ahead. So I'm happy. Happy days.
You took the point I was about to make, Saliba's uncle, and you are spot on, because that's what I was going to say. It's a testament to how well he has done, that all the rival fans are so happy to see him go. It's usually the opposite. I remember when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, or when
I was devastated.
When any of the rubbish managers Man United have had were sacked, I was like, oh no, I don't want him to be sacked. I want him to remain there so they can continue being crap. But in this case, they are all happy that he's gone, because they know, like Saliba's uncle said, he has been a pain in the ass of all these main rivals, and that's testament to how well he has done. And before I let you come, I remember something he said in his first press conference, that it's what's more important is how people think of you when you're about to leave. But when you're about to leave the job, that's one of the first things he said. And it's a fulfillment of what he has said at the beginning, that when he came, we were like, okay, excited that we have this good coach coming. But I mean, look how gutted and devastated we are that he's leaving. So that's more important. Yeah. Yeah. So how are you coping now, Linger?
Well, I watched the video earlier today. I hadn't watched it. I had decided not to, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on the pod. I'm gonna watch it, and cried a lot again. It's hard. It's like really a lot of people have been like, oh, who are we gonna bring, or like, what does this mean for our like achievement in the future? And like, I still feel like I'm not even really truly there yet. I just like, I'm not even like that young, but Klopp's been a manager for like a third of my life. Like, he's just the manager in so many important moments for our team and for me personally, and just like moments in the world. So like, it's something I never expected. I actually don't think I thought that he was going to sign another contract, but I thought we still had those 2 more years and not this season. And like, even watching, so going back to what you were saying about how he entered, he talked in his interview a few days ago about like how he's leaving. He'd rather leave slightly early than slightly too late. And I think that's, I think that like, I think about Arsene actually, one of the greatest managers of all time, and like the kind of like not great way he left Arsenal. I'm glad that that's not what's happening with Jurgen, but it still seems so early. And like, you know, anyone who's just seen him talk, like everyone's going to miss him being a character at least, even if you're not going to miss Liverpool whipping your teams. But like him talking a lot about how he wants to figure out like who he is outside of football, and how like he just hasn't lived a normal life and he wants to see what else there is. And I've thought a lot about, he was just so honest about how like, I can only be successful if I'm really energetic about it. And right now I just feel like I don't have the energy. And I think last season we were all talking a lot about how like, you know, is this it or whatever? And I'm glad that he stayed. And now he's built up something so great for the next manager. And he's just being honest, and he's just like, I don't have it in me. And there's so much about like burnout and mental health or whatever. And like, for me, that's what's real. This is one of those moments where I'm like, I'm so sad. I'm devastated, but I'm also, as usual, I just really respect his perspective and his authenticity about like, listen, I could still do it. He even said like, and they would never sack me. So even if I lost my energy, like people wouldn't be able to tell and no one would fire me, but I would know myself. So to make this choice on my own. And like everyone who's watching this, like watch the Klopp interview. It's really, really interesting. He's very transparent as usual.
That's the thing.
He insisted several times that he's not sick and Ula's not sick. I'm a little worried that someone's sick because it just seems out of nowhere, but he said a few times that's not the case.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, conspiracy theories will always come up with different angles. Right. But like you said, when you watch the whole interview, because when I was at work, the first thing I saw was like the 30-second snippet where he just announced, I'm leaving. And then he says, look, I'm not sick, but I just don't have enough energy for this anymore. So at that stage, I didn't watch the whole video. So I was already thinking, something has gone wrong. Because I was thinking he looks energized this season. You know, last season he looked haggard. He looked like he was tired. Last season it felt like he couldn't handle it. But this season he's already like Liverpool 2.0. He looked energized. He looked like he was up for it. So I was thinking something must have gone wrong. Why is he quitting? Something must have gone wrong. But when you watch the whole interview, you see where it's coming from. And originally he was supposed to leave next season anyway. He signed an extension. Yeah, it's just because his wife convinced him to extend. He was originally supposed to leave next season. So I think he just went back to his original decision and just said, look, let me just leave after 9 years instead of waiting another 2 years. And I know there will always be agendas. I already see people saying, oh, it's Liverpool's owners' fault. FSG, the owners are the ones that pushed him out. They didn't give him money. I'm not a very big fan of the owners, but I'm not going to go on that agenda. I don't even have enough emotional. I don't have enough emotional bandwidth to go on that conspiracy theory. I just want to process it and take it for face value for what he has said, and I believe him. I think he just feels he won't have enough to give after next season, so it's better to just wrap it up this season. I believe him. I don't think there's anything ulterior. Hopefully, there's nobody sick. I believe when he said there's nobody sick, but I just don't think he has. I think, like that Batman film, it's better to die a hero than live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Exactly.
So just go out when the ovation is loudest. Because, I mean, things are on the up. We still might not win anything this season, but at least we're still in a better position than last season. Last season, well, so awful.
I think that's why it's good he announced now and not later, because, like, whether we win or not, I think like if we won something or if we didn't win something, and then he announced it would like be read through that. But now it's just like pretty much no matter how we do, he's still leaving. So I think that was actually pretty strategic because our first final is in a few weeks.
Yeah. I like the honesty. I like the fact that he just said, "Look, this is it," and I mean, I said he's not going to coach in England again. Thank God, because I can't imagine seeing him going to maybe Arsenal or Chelsea. Oh my God, I can't deal with that. So, and I believe he will keep his promise. He won't come back to England. I suspect he might end up in Spain at some stage. So that ties into the next question. Okay, before we talk about the potential replacement, what would be your best memory that he has given you as a Liverpool fan? One. We'll limit it to one because there's so many. And after that, I'll take comments from some of our viewers and listeners. Yeah. But just while you're thinking on that,
I think meeting him was just really special for me. It's not about Liverpool. It's just personal to me, like being able to meet him.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, I'm too nervous to talk to you. My hands are shaking. And I showed him my hands and he laughed at me and he said it was okay. And he was just so kind to me. And like,
sorry, where was that? Was that in, where was
California.
That? California. Oh, lovely.
Yeah. That's why I have all the pictures with Klopp. And everyone always like, who's your old white husband? And I'm like, no, that's Liverpool's manager.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I think for me, like the biggest memory or the impact or legacy for me is just like how much he's shaped his philosophy has shaped our club and me personally. Like, I think the way that he's engaged with accountability is really beautiful and has actually affected me in my teaching. Like when he says things like, you know, like everything that they do well is really on them and any big mistake we make is entirely on me. Like, I think the way that he's like supported his players and helps grow them. So his legacy is just all the people who will come after him, right? All the players that we see right now, like even us as Liverpool fans, I think that like we're his legacy more than like the trophies.
Absolutely. For me, legacy and best memory probably tie in together. The way he deals with setbacks, with adversities, the fates, and the one I remember most was when we lost the first Champions League final to Madrid with Karius. Karius throwing the ball into the net and all of that nonsense. Yeah. But the way they dealt with it, I'm sure you've heard the story. All of them went to a hotel afterwards and they were having a party and he was singing and was just saying, look, we're coming back next year to win this. Yeah. And that's what they were singing. All of them were singing it. He was leading the song and they came back the next year and they won it. The way he deals with adversity is something I've not seen any manager who deals with it that way. He's always philosophical about it. He will say, we will use this failure to succeed. That's the way he sees things. He will say, we will use information from this to succeed. And I just think it's a way to apply it to somebody's life. I know some people say it's just a football coach. It's just a football coach. But there's some things you can pick from people who are just football coaches. You know, there's some philosophies of life. So for me, that's his biggest legacy, the way he deals with failure, with defeat, the way he turns it into a positive, the way he bounces back. Because, I mean, the first three finals he played with Liverpool, he lost. He lost the Carling Cup final, he lost the Champions League final, he lost the Europa League final. So, eventually he still became successful enough. So that's the biggest legacy for me. I'll quickly take some comments. Friday, Opolopo, thank you for joining us. We wave at you too. Hi. We have Ogakwame here. He has a comment for you. Saliba's uncle. Would you like to respond to that? That's Saliba's uncle.
How would you like to adopt Onana? No.
Yeah.
Onana will be fine. Onana is an outfield player. He's not a goalkeeper in my eyes. I mean, with all due respect, when I look at him, I just see an outfield player first. Like he behaves like an outfield player. He thinks like an outfield player. He carries himself like an outfield player. He's such a unique profile. What I just don't like is the banter. Like the banter has gone from just banter to like almost being like a caricature figure. Like it's getting too much. And of course, if you understand colorism, there's a bit of colorism there as well.
Brother. I feel you.
So I don't want to go too deep into it's just unfortunate because this was the guy that was in the Champions League Team of the Year like a few
Right.
months ago, right? So he was operating at the top of his game, but unfortunately, the Manchester United thing happened. And when you listen to Manchester United fans, they also say that we kill players. This is where players come to
Yeah,
die.
it's true.
You understand? So that is also there, right? So yeah, it's so. But to cut a
I'll
long story
absolutely.
short, no,
Mhm.
I won't be adopting on
You
that.
won't adopt him.
Yeah.
I wanted to back you up. That's the reason why I was saying, brother. This exact sentiment you expressed. I'm a Liverpool fan, so of course I would love to troll Man United. But I know in our WhatsApp, we have a WhatsApp group, and also we have a Facebook group. And I said in both places, I said I don't really like trolling. I don't like trolling Onana, and the reason is generally black goalkeepers get a rough ride. They get a rough ride in world football. There's the stereotypical black people can't make good goalkeepers. So it always makes me reluctant to troll Onana. I even said it in our Facebook group. I said, look, okay, I know he's having a bad time, he's making errors, but I always feel so reluctant to troll him because I just know that stereotypical jab at black goalkeepers exists. And like you rightly said, it has become a caricature now. It has become, oh, it's banter. Onana this, Onana that. Yes, he has made some bad mistakes, but I just think, for me, it's a bit distasteful. Maybe I'm just being because I'm black.
I want to troll Black Oga Kwame. Black Oga Kwame. I want to troll you more than anything else. That's my issue. You guys are saying, but like.
Oga Kwame has a comment for you, Linger. He said, Linger, this is what you get for being an hater. You're always saying everything again, and you're always Ole in. Say, look at God now. May Gerard coach your team in Jesus' name.
The good thing is, like, thank God this wasn't a few years ago when he was at Rangers or even Villa. Hopefully, everyone has sense now to know that Gerard is not a good manager right now.
No,
please God.
No. Gerard is nowhere near the job. Nowhere near the job.
You guys need to give him a second chance.
No, thank you.
He's a Liverpool legend. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Not everyone can be good at everything.
Yeah. And he had the chance to win the league for us 2022 when Aston Villa were playing against Man City.
It was written in fate that they would help us, but no.
Yeah. And they still bottled it up. So they still bottled it. So we gave him a chance to win the league for us, and he messed it up in 2022. So no, no way. We don't want him. We don't want him. So I'll just read some stats. I mean, to put in perspective, because already the thing is with this kind of news, rival fans start getting fatigued straight away. They'll be like, oh, come on, the news is all about Klopp. And then they start bringing out all the jabs, all the trolls. Oh, it's only one league title. Oh, it's only one Champions League. I mean, that's the comeback that they have. Only one Champions League, only one league title. Yeah, but look at the guys we're competing against. Lance Armstrong FC, the guys who are doping financially with 115 charges. If they were not there, probably we'll have a couple more league titles. And probably we still get awarded some of the league titles if they get found guilty. So who knows? So, I mean, it's all about context. He lost a couple of Champions League finals. One because of Karius, who decided to throw the ball into his own net and just give away goals. And then second one, Courtois, who was just on fire. It happens. We won one out of three.
Anyone saying Klopp isn't a good manager is just being insincere. Like, we all agree that obviously he's an incredible manager. He's one of the best the Prem has seen. He's entirely revolutionized Liverpool to the rage and envy of all these other fans. Like, people are putting out stats, and I'm like, yeah, but that means that we've won the league and the Champions League and all these. I don't understand. Like,
he's won everything. He's won everything. All the major trophies.
Won everything.
Yeah, but the argument is he should have won more. But I'm just saying there's context to why he hasn't won more.
97, 98, 99 points and not winning the league, man. There's nothing else like this.
and give me a manager who has never been who has never been charged for testing positive to drugs, like Pep Guardiola was caught twice. Give me a manager like that, or give me a manager that was not in charge of Barcelona when Barcelona were being accused of bribing referees, or give me a manager that has not been in charge of Man City when Man City have been charged with 115 charges. And I'll take Klopp every day, every single minute, every single second. I'll take him over.
Every team but City would take Klopp in a heartbeat. So
Exactly.
joyfully.
Yeah. All these ones laughing at him now. They will put red carpets to welcome him if he ever came to the club. So that's Jurgen Klopp for you. I'll give a couple of statistics before we move off this section. He has a 60% winning rate, highest. Basically, it's the second highest in Liverpool's history, but it's most likely going to beat that because he's on 60.73%, and Kenny Dalglish is on 60.91%. And so he's probably going to be the one with the highest winning percentage ever as a Liverpool manager. So that puts it in perspective. So apart from the trophies, I mean, since he was appointed in 2015, we have amassed 671 points in the league. Only Man City have gotten more points in that period. He's the only Liverpool manager
to have won 80 above the next person. The next person's like 80 below us or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just there's so many things, so many records. I mean, what do you want us to talk about? If the Chelsea fans are happy to see him go, the Chelsea fans are happy to see him go because we beat them in 2 domestic cup finals just 2 years ago, and they've not beaten us at Anfield since he came. Arsenal fans are happy to see him go because we keep knocking them out of cups and we still beat them every time. Man United fans are happy to see him go because
United fans are like
7-up.
Oh, 5-1, like there's like
5-0 at Old Trafford
with that team.
And so they're happy to see him go because he's even Man City, even Pep. Did you see Pep Guardiola's
like, I'll sleep
interview?
Here.
Exactly. He said this. He said all the few days before every Liverpool match, he can't sleep because he's worried that Klopp is going to do something. And that's the thing. Even head to head, Klopp is leading them and leading Guardiola head to head. I mean, wins. He has more wins than Guardiola in head to head match.
Like any other manager, right?
Any other manager, That's it. So let's see what Kwame has to say before we move off this section, and let's have Saliba's uncle back. So Kwame says Klopp is the best thing to happen to you guys in the last 2 to 3 decades. I hear Liverpool fans are crying, just like our Ghanaian friends. You can see that pun. I like that pun. These Liverpool fans are crying.
It took me a second. I was like, what?
Thank you.
Literally, I've cried every day. Like, it's brutal. It's hard out here, man.
It is. I mean, the first day, when everybody that's like Linga, like you said, people are already talking about the next manager. Who do we want? I couldn't even process it. I was still processing my grief, and people were already talking the next manager. Why? I can't. I'm still trying to process this guy leaving. Some of you have moved on already. I don't know. People process their grief differently, anyway.
Exactly.
And I think it's because of the times that we are currently in. It's very difficult to find world-class managers. That's one. 2, it's difficult to get them to maintain that longevity and the stability that comes with that as well. It's very difficult. And people have seen it. I mean, when Man City found the manager, they kept the manager. You've got to keep that manager because there's no point in, having a high turnover, letting them go after 2 to 3 years. When you find that person, you keep that person. You don't have like when Chelsea lost the guy at Bayern now, what's his name? Tommy Tuchel.
Tuchel.
When they lost him, I mean, look at where they are now, right? Like it's been they've been all over the place. And they probably should have given him more time, but they sacked him as if it was 2005, where you can just go to the market and pick another manager.
Exactly.
It's really difficult. I mean, and this is not dismissing the fact that like there were issues that needed to be solved. Yes, but I think the reason Liverpool fans are not very happy with the Klopp news is where do you go from here? I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world, but where do you find that manager? Because for you to maintain or to sustain yourself at the top, that manager is so crucial. I don't see anybody doing anything at the top top, echelon of football today without the manager.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, because they're the building blocks, and
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, we'll wrap up the club session. Basically, well, we all know that the names being thrown out. The names being thrown out as Zabi Alonso, Roberto De Zerbi, but I don't have the bandwidth to start even thinking of that yet. So we won a match today. I mean, Liverpool
On
actually
a
played
future pod.
on the future pod. Exactly. I can't even really, really. I'm not ready for him to go yet. I'm not. I'm not. So, but I mean, Liverpool even played it today and we won 5-2. But it's still secondary to the big news. The big news is Klopp is leaving. But we'll move on. We'll wrap up that section. But I'll just take some comments before we proceed to talk about Arsenal with Saliba's uncle. And somebody, Facebook user, please put your name. It says, Linger, my paddy. Basically, Linger, my friend. So I'm trying to guess who that is. Who could
Let me
that
know who it
be?
is, and then I'll say whether or not we're friends.
Okay, Ogakwami has another question for Saliba's uncle. It says, are you taking Xavi at Arsenal? Interesting. Any response?
No.
Arteta for life.
No. No, not that. Like it's Xavi. Xavi has potential, but that's
Mm,
just it. Potential. Nothing is guaranteed. It's very
mm,
difficult to coach at the top level and manage a top team in Europe nowadays. It's very difficult because you need time, you need like it's and there are no guarantees that these guys are going to be successful. So you probably have to
mm,
just ride along with it. And as you ride along, what are you going to lose along the way? So Liverpool might gain on you, Chelsea might like it's so
Mm.
competitive. And Xavi's also complained about the same thing back in Barcelona that like everyone wants to kill you, like everyone wants to criticize you, like nobody gives you time. I'm happy seeing it as a manager because he sort of lived that experience as a player, but he didn't have to think about it because he was playing. So
yeah.
it's tough. Like I mean, people are looking for guarantees. Give me
Mm.
Mm.
Ancelotti, give me Pep, give me Klopp. It's like because
Mm.
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that will tie us into that'll be a segue for us to talk about Arsenal. But I just quickly round up the comments before. So basically, Facebook user says, "See my Liverpool family is well, rebuilding trauma." So Linga, in
At
answer
least the
answer to
team
your
is the team
question,
is rebuilt though. Like I'm not worried about that. Like this was the rebuilding and it's worked. So I guess the next
yeah,
question is what is the style of the new manager?
yeah. But I want to answer your question about who was saying they're your friend. It's Idris. Idris is Idris says he's the one saying
Don't know him.
um, you don't know Chelsea fan. Chelsea fan, Todd Bowley gang. He says, where do we go
Volleyball.
from here? Back to the streets. So, okay. So yeah, basically,
Boo.
Idris is having fun because Chelsea. Anyway, I don't think he should be running his mouth too much because they are coming to Anfield on Wednesday. So, so I don't know why he's happy because they might get smashed at Anfield on Wednesday. Saliba's uncle, we have that question there. Title race. Have Arsenal been written off too early? I mean, it's the highest tree branch, definitely beyond the reach of the elephants. I mean, I looked at the table, it's 5 points off the Arsenal are
Yeah.
just 5 points off the top, 17 games to go. I think they've been written off too early. I think the string of bad results um, made people feel like it's all over. Of course, I went to AFTV and I saw some of your fans shouting that, yeah, it's all over. I don't know. What do you think? 5 points? Is it insurmountable? Especially with Liverpool are coming to the Emirates on Sunday, next
Yeah,
Sunday. So
Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool coming to the Emirates, but we still have to go to Spurs. We still have to go to the Etihad.
Mm.
We still have to go to Old Trafford. Spurs are a different outfit this season. They are not afraid. They used to be afraid of us. They're not
No.
afraid.
The white line.
And that's exactly, and that's a big problem. And when you do that, I mean, you could see even when Pep went there, like Pep has had to deal with some demons at that stadium. And then Old Trafford, we haven't won there since like when? Last time we won there was when Emmanuel Adebayo scored, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's still
It's
very
crazy.
difficult to win at Old Trafford.
Mhm.
And then we have to go to the Etihad as well. Very, very difficult. And if you look at the games that we drew and lost, like we lost the game against Fulham. If you want to win the league, no one's expecting you to lose that game against Fulham.
Mm,
We dropped points at home to Fulham as well. Like
Yeah.
we didn't expect that. So and then you look at the West Ham game, you don't lose that game if you want to win the league. You just don't. I mean, look at Liverpool; they've lost once, and they
and
weren't.
we didn't. And the reason we
Yeah,
lost. Okay, I'm not gonna. Whatever.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. We know what happened there. We know what happened there, right? So like, so let me just go back. The reason Arsenal fans, let's not talk about Arteta in, Arteta out. The reason Arsenal fans are freaking out is because of history and because of how they feel. How you feel is how you feel. And why do you feel the way you feel? Because you've been hurt in the past. You've been hurt in the past, and you still see some
Mm,
signs of those things coming back. You still see some signs. And what signs do you see? Do you see conviction? Like when we watch our team, we have more questions. Last season, we didn't have a lot of questions because we dominated for long spells of the
Mhm.
season till we fell apart. But when we fell apart, we could see some things that were missing. Some of our key players were missing. So
mm,
we had that as like a comfort zone to hide under and say, yes, Saliba was missing for a few games, and
Yeah.
Thomas Partey lost form. So we could justify it. But then we are not seeing that same team this season. We are not
mm,
as convincing. We're not playing that swashbuckling football this
mm,
season. And it's been a bit of a struggle. And now we have to deal with Liverpool, and then we have to deal with City, and then we lose 3 games in a row. You can't do that. So that's why Arsenal fans are looking at it and saying it's over. Does it make sense? If you consider history, if you consider what's happening now, if you consider the experience of the manager, the fact that we haven't done it before, the manager hasn't done it before, right? The manager
mm.
has not done it before. So when people talk about Pep and Klopp, they always have to give them that credit to say, yeah, it might be
Yeah.
difficult. However, they have
And the team
experience,
hasn't
they've
done it
done it
before
before, they
either.
know how to do it, they know how to
Hmm.
win it. Exactly, and it's a very young team. This team hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
Like the last Arsenal team that won something under Mikel was everyone's practically gone, right? So there are many reasons why Arsenal fans are worried. If you want to be optimistic about this, fair play to you, but you should also be fair enough to consider the several factors that underpin why people might be very, very worried. So have they written us off too early?
Mm.
Yes, but there are very good reasons why they've done that.
Well,
I'm
yeah, very
still
good
in
answer.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, it's
I'm still in
exactly.
it, but
Well,
like, it's City's league basically. So who can pose a challenge? And I feel like it's
Exactly.
Liverpool and Arsenal. I think Villa's probably not going to be able to maintain it, and like, I don't imagine Arsenal winning it for some of the reasons you said. But are they out of it entirely? No, it's just fun to troll them when they lose. Like they're not out of it at all.
Yeah,
um,
I mean, Ola, if you want to be positive as well, I mean, we as Arsenal fans, we speak almost every time. We have all this, debates, all these platforms that we discuss. If you look at last season, there were some key elements of our game last season that was very clear. For instance, Zinchenko playing as our left back. He was basically a midfielder last season.
yeah,
Mm,
Was helping
yeah,
us, phase one, helping us to progress the ball. We had, I think, the highest amount of progressive passes into the final third last season.
mm,
He's almost
hmm,
like our deep line playmaker, like the brainchild of the team. I accept all his, inadequacies, or because a lot of people are angry about him. So let's also acknowledge that. And then we had Thomas Partey. For the first time, he played more than 30 games in
mm,
the league for the first time, right? And Thomas Partey is a ridiculously good player. I mean, when you watch him in the Arteta system playing as a six, his centrality, his ability on the ball, the fact that he could receive the ball anywhere, anyhow, his flexibility, his ability to beat the press, his verticality, just ridiculous. So what that did with Granit Xhaka playing just next to him, he just gave us this ridiculous balance. We're so balanced when, when Zinchenko went forward, Chaka knew when to drop, he knew when to go. Then we had the two monsters in Saliba and Gabriel. They could push forward, they could, compress teams in. And then Martin Odegaard didn't need to come back. He was practically just playing as a forward, and that was how he was able to get 15 goals. So that team was almost like perfect. But we haven't had that this season. Partey has been injured all season. Zinchenko has been on and off. Declan Rice is a new element that we have to sort of adapt to, and he has to adapt to us as well. And then we have the Kai Havertz thing. So it's almost like a new team, that we have to use to sustain a title challenge. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, well, I think for me, especially with the new system, I think maybe there was a bedding in period that we have to factor in for. Like you said, Xhaka left. You have Kai Havertz in. I think Arteta tried to trick something so that you guys are not as predictable this season, because of course, based on last season, people will start analyzing what you did last season and try to nullify you. So I think he was just trying to maybe make some tweaks. Of course, yes, that's not been free flowing, but even Liverpool, that's the thing. Liverpool, we have not been free flowing until recently.
No.
Like, yeah, we were just nicking some wins here or there, but I think since January we started scoring a lot of goals. I mean, started scoring 4 goals, 5 goals, but we're not doing that most of the season. We're stop and start like Arsenal. So, but the reason why I don't want to write Arsenal off is Arsenal have a good defense, number one. I mean, I think you guys have the second or third best defense in the league, and then very good at set plays. Very, very good at set pieces. I mean, the number of goals Arsenal score from set pieces, and in the tight games, especially when you start playing against the top boys, those set plays will come in handy, and Arsenal are so good at them. I mean, I take your point that you guys have dropped points to Fulham, West Ham, teams that you should not drop points to. But Liverpool, we drop points to Luton. We drop points to Luton. I mean,
City have dropped points they shouldn't have. Like, it's actually a pretty open league more than usual, and like that's been fun.
Yeah, exactly. So Man City dropped points to did they lose? They lost at home to, was it West Ham, or who beat them? Somebody beat them at home.
I remember.
Or they drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace. So everybody has the teams, they've dropped points to. I think Arsenal still in it up. 5 points for me is not a big gap, especially with Liverpool coming up, where you can cut that league to 2 points. I mean, at the best of times, it's not like Liverpool go to the Emirates and win all the time either. We won in the FA Cup, but it's still tight. But
they lost.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I said they lost last season. They lost at the Emirates.
Yeah, we lost 3-2. Yeah, lost at the Emirates last season 3-2. So Oga Kwame, I think he jinxed DR Congo, because this comment he made was when Egypt were leading. And when DR Congo were leading Egypt just a few minutes ago, but now they equalized, because I'm watching also.
No!
Egypt have equalized through a penalty. Man. So 1-1. Yeah.
We need Egypt to win.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't need Egypt to win. We want Egypt out as soon as possible so they can leave us to recover Salah, please.
So actually, and what I would say is I'm different. That's not actually my motivation. I want teams to actually go far in AFCON with their countries, but I only root for, in order, the West African teams, and then the Black African teams, and then the rest are last. So I want Egypt up for that reason. Yeah, 1-1. Okay. You jinxed it.
Yeah,
Don't you know the laws of PIM?
The laws of PIM, Oga Kwame. So that leads us a segue into the AFCON chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Oga Kwame is also telling us about why he doesn't want Egypt to win it. They've won it 7 times, so we don't need them winning it 8 times. And he says it's with you, linger on that. So
no, we've never been on the same page like this. Crazy. Maybe we're even friends now. Can we be friends finally?
So quick question, Saliba's uncle. Are you originally from Cameroon? I don't know why Kwame was asking you, do you want to adapt on Nana?
No. I am Nigerian. I'm from
Oh,
Not
Lagos.
well.
oh, okay. I thought maybe you're I don't know why I was asking you to adopt to that.
Yeah.
Must have
He's just trying to get rid of Onana to
I'm
anybody.
I'm
Anyone who could
from
be a
Ikorodu,
potential.
Ikorodu, Lagos. That's where I'm from.
Ah, Lagos boy. So I was Lagos yesterday after Nigeria knocked out Cameroon. I was
Okay.
Lagos bubbling.
I am actually in Canada. I've
Oh,
been I've been out of the country since 2010. Last time I was in
oh,
Nigeria
okay.
was in 2013. But
I even more recent. Well, I've been there more recent. I think I was in Nigeria 2017, but I'm sure
yeah.
Nigeria would have been bubbling yesterday,
Oh yeah.
knocking out
Oh yeah.
Cameroon,
Oh yeah.
the old
Absolutely.
enemy.
Yeah. I was saying on Twitter yesterday that we know how to keep a grudge,
Yeah,
as Nigerians, and I will never forget. Like I still have nightmares, from that 2000 team, what they did to us
yeah,
at
yeah.
the National Stadium in Surulere in 2000. I mean, I still picture that team, the goalkeeper, Lauren Etamimea, Rigobert Song, Raymond Kala, Patrick Mboma, all those guys, like Solomon
Samuel
Olumbe,
Eto'o.
Pierre Wome, Bill Chato, Samuel Eto'o, all of them, they were so good, so strong. They were so African. When I say so African,
Mm.
they were not phased by anything.
Mhm.
They knew how to deal with us. That we've lost three times
In final.
three AFCON finals to them.
Yeah.
So they just knew, and some things went for them, but it was a devastating loss.
The
Mm.
People
most
cried.
painful, the
People
most painful
cried.
loss I've suffered as Nigerian
Yeah,
team,
a lot of
at least
people.
Super Eagles fan. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people cried. So when Sunday Olise got to the podium and he was crying, like
Mm.
that was the country crying, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
And till today, we still feel that pain. So anytime
Oh yeah.
we stick it to Cameroon is a very good day, to be honest.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it that way because I think I was still in Nigeria then. So that would be 2000. Yeah, 2000. And it
Yeah.
felt like the whole country suffered the tragedy. I mean, losing that
Mm.
final to them in our own stadium because they went 2-0 up. So that was the sad thing. Cameroon actually took a 2-0 lead. Then Nigeria fought back, got it 2-2. Then went to penalties. Then the penalty shootout, Nigeria actually scored a penalty that crossed the line, but there was no goal line technology. So the penalty was ruled out, but it was actually
No.
in. Yeah, so that's why it was more painful. Victor Pepper, he hit the penalty, hit the crossbar, bounced, and crossed the line. But there was no goal line technology. So the referee said, no, that didn't cross the line. And then we lost the penalty shootout to them. And that was the third time we lost the final to Cameroon. So the
Oh
pain,
my
that's
God.
why I understand what Saliba is saying. Up to now, that pain is still there. That, how did we lose that
Mm.
final? And we lost it to these guys. They're just our next door neighbor. They're just next to us. So beating them yesterday was so sweet. I mean, it wasn't a great match, to be honest. It was not a great match. We didn't really play well, but we played better than them. We played better than them. They were
You know, it
not
was
good. They
actually
were
a
not.
good game. Did you
Yeah.
guys watch? I'm glad you guys won, by the way. I have a lot of Nigerian family, but also Cameroon broke our hearts. Did you watch Gambia Cameroon? It was a good game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
3-2.
we were so close, and we had that goal that was obviously a handball, but I was praying so hard we'd like illegally get it somehow. I'm like, has the right bribe gone out, or please somebody? And when the game started, I seen that we were just out, and then when we saw the Senegal result, we were like, wait, if we beat them, we're gonna continue. And I wanted to at least be Onana so that we could at least score on Onana, but man, I was so sad. So I was thrilled. When Nigeria won.
Yeah. So what result would have put Gambia through? Like if Gambia beating Cameroon.
I think if we won it all, because we'd be like 1 point ahead of Guinea or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Gambia were 2-1. They were 2-1 up. Gambia were 2-1 up in that match.
Yeah.
That sucks. That sucks. Yeah. So Oga Kwame said, well, Saliba's uncle, he said you have already adopted Saliba. So he was hoping that you could adopt another fellow African. That's why he was asking.
Like Madonna and Angelina Jolie to adopt him.
The man is
the reason. The reason I.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Since we were talking about AFCON, I decided to call in and use my powers of nepotism since I have the link.
Kwame, what's up, man?
what is going on. Yeah, Saliba's uncle, I was hoping you could adopt a fellow African child, do Madonna FC for us. Just because you're over here adopting African children all over the place. We need you
Yeah.
to come adopt an African child in Manchester. But
No, no, you're not. Yeah, yeah. Onana is there, like Agent Onana is there to serve a purpose, and he's doing a very good job. We are very happy. We are very happy with what he's doing at Manchester United. Long live the king. Long live the
yeah,
I think you wanted to explain why you have your name as Saliba's uncle. I think you were about to tell us.
Yeah, I like the when Arsenal went in for Saliba, I, I I didn't know who he was, but I knew that there were lots of interest, and so I went and looked him up. The first thing I saw was he was just an absolute unit. He's just so
Mm.
big, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And then the name sounds so ethnic, like
Mhm.
so like Saliba. It's like some African warrior, like
Mm.
like some mythical African warrior, and he's big. He can play football, and he looks so confident. I was like, yeah, that's my guy. And
Yeah.
there's this thing in football where if a player gets injured during the time they're out, they just become better. For instance, if you
Mm.
lose Van Dijk for like a whole season, you're gonna say, yeah, like Van. If we had Van Dijk there, we would have won.
Yeah.
So with Saliba, when we got him, we just picked him up so much that we started thinking that this guy is gonna do something special. He's gonna be this special thing, and I'm actually surprised that he's actually this good because I
Yeah.
in my head I could. Because I didn't scout him, right? I didn't scout him. Apparently, a lot of people scouted him, and they knew who he was. Then when I started scouting him, then that was when I knew. But I just like the name.
But
That's why.
quick question. But
Mhm.
but the thing is, I think he was loaned. He arrived at Arsenal, then he got loaned somewhere else
Yeah, twice.
initially.
He got loaned
Twice.
twice. Yeah,
Oh,
he got loaned to Nice and he got loaned to Olympique Marseille. And there were lots of issues with the way we managed him, and we were so lucky that that he wanted to play for Arsenal because we would have lost him. We didn't manage
I
him
was going to
properly.
ask. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to ask because I was thinking, did those, in your opinion, did those loans shape him to become a better defender?
I
Because,
mean,
for example, let me tell you just before you answer, I'm a big
mm,
fan of Saliba. Last season,
mhm,
I was defending you Arsenal guys because after the season, people were like, "Oh, Arsenal bottled it," but I was like, losing Saliba was a big factor. But people were like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody has
definitely.
injuries. Everybody has injuries." Yeah, okay, every club has injuries, but not all injuries are equal. Injuries to big players matter. And I was like,
yeah,
losing Saliba was a big factor in Arsenal's collapse that
Yeah, yeah.
season. So I'm a big Saliba fan. But
yeah.
what I'm asking is, did the loans shape him to become a better defender, or do you think it was a waste of time sending him on those loans?
No, I mean, Saliba divided a lot of people because purely
Sure.
based on the way we managed him, and people who wanted to defend the manager, they would use that to say, how can you call a loan experience of that nature bad? Because he played a lot of games for Nice. I think when he was at Nice, he and Saliba and Todibo, they partnered at centre back, and they were very good, and they turned Nice's fortunes around. And then when he went to Olympique Marseille, he played over 30 games, played basically every game he was available for, and they were the second best team in the country, right? So you look at that and say that's valuable experience, but that's not the
Sure.
point. The point is like,
Mm.
did we need to send him out? And is he good enough, or was he good enough to play in the team? So bottom line, he was good enough to play in the team. We sent him out. He got experience playing in France. Yes, it's a win-win for Arsenal, but we shouldn't manage a talent like that anymore. We shouldn't manage, we shouldn't do what we did with him to any other big talent anymore. That's the message that we are just trying to pass here. We were just lucky that he didn't turn out badly for us. It would have been very painful if we had lost him.
Mm, fantastic. Okay, we'll round up the AFCON.
I just want
Oh,
to talk
yeah,
about.
Oga Kwame. Yeah.
By the way, Saliba's from Cameroon. His mom is from Cameroon.
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
nice.
I, I,
Well,
I just wanna talk about how this AFCON, it is low key becoming like as iconic as any other AFCON that we have
It's been
that we
good games.
Exactly.
I think with this AFCON is showing that the landscape of African football is changing. It is shifting. The regular African giants, shout out Burna Boy. The regular African giants that we associate with African football, they're not standing 10 toes anymore. The only real African giants that are standing 10 toes in this AFCON, maybe Morocco and Senegal.
Senegal?
That's it. Right. Egypt, these men are wobbly. Tunisia, out. Algeria, out. Nigeria, we're all right. We're there. Cote d'Ivoire, lucky. Cameroon, out. Pepe. Ghana, they're crying. Like these so-called small teams, Cabo Verde, Angola, Mozambique, like Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea lost they at the very, very last second of today's game. These men have been soft the entire tournament. So I'm just very, very happy that that football in Africa is changing, and it's changing. It's changing in a way that that makes the so-called big teams just stand strong and don't think because you're Nigeria you can beat Angola. That game against Angola we have to play.
Angola.
Like that game against Angola, that game is going to be very, very difficult because those guys can play ball. Angola can play ball. They will make your defenders, if your defenders are slow, they will play through the lines and just in 2 seconds you're facing your goalkeeper. So I just love it. Regardless of, I'm with Linger as long as Egypt is out. I'm cool. I just need like a team that is not a traditional big African team to win it, and I'm good. So anyway, peace out, guys. Saliba's uncle.
Bye, Olga.
Thank you, boss.
Okay, all right. Peace.
Thank you. See you.
We have to start calling him Nana's uncle, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we'll just go to the last segment of this podcast, and since Queen Scouser is about to leave us very shortly, I'll just quickly get you to just non-footy chat, like what TV show or film are you looking forward to in 2024? I follow some of your posts, and I know you're really big into your films and TV shows. You have very good reviews. Yeah, so you have very good reviews. So which one are you looking forward to being released in 2024?
Dune Part 2. Tickets are already out. The AMC site crashed as it always does, but I got my tickets. I really like the first one. I just really like big narratives in everything. Like that's why I'm also really interested in football history and how it shapes us and stuff like that. But I thought the first one was like, I kind of felt the way that people say they felt when they first saw Star Wars. I thought the effects were so incredible, and I was sitting there in awe, and it was so great. So I'm really excited to see that.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah, I saw the first one. I think I just saw the first one last year, and it had a very good story to it. That's the one with the blue eyes.
IMAX. It has to be in IMAX. So then, it's like gigantic Zendaya, and you're like, yes, Zendaya, I love you so much.
And what about Timothy Chalamet, or how do you pronounce his surname?
Fine. Chalamet.
Yeah,
but life is all
good.
About Zendaya.
Zendaya for president.
Exactly, for real.
Saliba's uncle, do you have any TV show or movie that you're looking forward to in 2024?
TV show. Wow, interesting. I think I've just started watching is it Giselda on Netflix?
Oh, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, because
Griselda? Is it Griselda? I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, Griselda. Yeah, she's like the godmother of like cocaine. She was the person before Pablo Escobar, and she came from Medellin as well. And I'm a big fan of like true crime and watched all Narcos and all that stuff. Right? So yeah, and more documentaries, more crime documentaries, true crime.
Sure.
Yeah, nice. I'm looking forward to The Boys. Yeah.
Ooh,
The Boys. The boys.
Me too. Let's go.
Yeah. we let's
That's
see what's
just crazy,
Umla.
man. Like,
Oh, that's just
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, let's do what I know they had one last season, last year that was called Gen V. Gen V was like it's just like a bridge to the next boys season.
It's really good.
So
it's really good.
it was good, yeah. But I'm just waiting to see what Homelander and the gang get up to in 2024. Yeah, it's a good skill. I like.
Doesn't he just feel like a Manchester United player? Like he just has the air of a Manchester United player.
My goodness.
I'm sorry, lucky you did not gone. Did you hear that?
Exactly. I was going to say
we're not friends. I take it back.
I was going to say you're lucky that family was not here to respond to that. Oh wow. Anyway, I think we're just about to wrap it up. Yeah, I'm sure EJ is going to be happy with me because I kept this under an hour. Because usually we're always over an hour on this podcast. And yes, we can see Klopp. Linga, I'll reach out to you because I think we still need to process this grief together. Because I'm not really dealing with it. Well, you had some whiskey going, but I didn't have any. I just had some energy drink. And Saliba's uncle, so happy to have you with us. Do you want to plug anything? Yeah, do you want to plug anything? Do you have a football podcast or channel, social media you want to plug?
No, just follow me on Twitter at MD Gunner, Saliba's uncle on Twitter. Let's
and also everyone follow me, LFC San Francisco.
Cool.
You know it's me because I post a lot about Mane.
and also
even now, don't you meet?
Sorry. Also, there's ARTV. It's a national channel. It's predominantly just in a very tight Nigerian community. Arsenal fans who just come together after the game, and yeah, it's really big. ARTV. Follow ARTV on Twitter. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, and Linga, Mrs. Mane. Hope you're coping well with Mane's newly wedded bride.
First of all. Okay, two things. First of all, I'm not like in love with Mane. He's just like my brother.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah. I've met him. He's so much shorter than me, and that's not usually my type. Like, he's a lot
my
shorter.
God.
I don't know if you guys know this. I'm really tall. I'm actually really tall. He's a lot shorter than me.
So that disqualifies him. That's a no-no. Red flag.
A little bit, yes.
No problem. It's been great having you guys, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we will definitely so give us a like, a subscribe, share, and we'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye.
All right.